I used to think that my fitness journey had to be a punishment. I thought forcing myself through pain was the price for admission to get my results. That specific belief system was holding me back and keeping me miserable, going through the same cycles over and over again, stopping, failing, starting, and it was just chaos. If you've ever felt that sense of dread or stress before going to do a workout, weigh-in, or even if you ate something that you labeled bad, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like a prison that you've built for yourself that's full of shame, guilt, and impatience. And I was the inmate of that for years. These are the changes that I took on to stop feeling shameful and guilty about how I looked and start to be excited and genuinely happy to go on a fitness journey. And everything started to click. So let's rewind. In the past, how I saw a weight loss journey or fitness was just self-criticism, negative talk, and everything that I ate, and basically what the scale weighed is how much more torture I had to put onto myself in order to get to my goals. When you're working out and it feels like torture, you're eating food and it feels like you have to sacrifice everything, these mindsets are what actually keep you from any long-term success goals with weight loss. And I lived that life for a long time. I would consider myself the king of all or nothing mentality. So if I had a 5-day split that I had to train and I missed a day, let's just say it was a Tuesday and I couldn't train, okay, let's just restart on Monday because I've already failed and what's the point of restarting right now? This perfectionist approach just meant that I was consistently dropping my routines, which just basically led to me having zero real growth and any type of progress, which just led to even more guilt. Food was the enemy. It was a battle between deprivation and constriction on a consistent basis, and then I had bad foods and good foods. And every time I ate something that was a bad food, I would have a sense of overwhelming guilt and shame and just want to give up. This basically created a cycle that I would restrict as much as I could restrict on a daily basis, and then when I was about to pop, I would binge on everything I hated. Then I would feel guilty about it, and then I would tell myself tomorrow I'll work out even harder, do even more cardio, push myself further, and it just created this nasty cycle, and I was never really getting any results. When food is your main coping mechanism or your source of guilt, that's when you know your approach is broken. And I was just spinning my wheels, being burnt out, hating my body more every single second. That I failed. The first and most powerful thing was changing how I spoke and how I thought. So instead of saying something, for example, like, I have to go work out, I would change it and say, I get to go work out. Shifting from a feeling of obligation to a feeling of opportunity was one of the main keys that completely started to change everything. Think about it like this. Viewing working out as something that you get to do completely changes the story that you're telling yourself. It's no longer a punishment. It's a privilege. It's a chance to build a stronger body, clear your head, challenge yourself, and be grateful for what your body can do. This tiny change in my language allowed me to start feeling gratitude over shame. It allowed me to start realizing that I have a body that's able and can move and do things instead of just being overweight and lazy. Acknowledging my current situations and not dwelling on it was a complete game changer. By changing my inner dialogue from criticism to compassion, I allowed my body to start falling in line with the new positivity. Because where your mind goes, your body flows. Next thing I had to really shift was my relationship with food. Because for the longest time, I just thought food was just something you have to eat. My childhood was basically, you eat the thing on the plate, it doesn't matter what it is, just eat it to survive. When you're trying to lose weight, that doesn't really work that way. So I started to use the food as fuel approach, and it really helped me a lot. Instead of thinking of whatever's on the plate, I had to actually start thinking about what I need to eat in order to lose weight, in order to perform better in the gym. And it literally changed everything. I started to feel healthier, nourished, more energy, instead of tired and just basically always in a calorie deficit. So instead of me thinking, what foods do I have to cut out right now, I started to think, what foods can I put in? And what foods do I need more than others? The food is fuel mentality really reframed my thinking. Instead of me thinking that everything I ate was me sacrificing things that I enjoyed, I started to think of it more as an investment and also a self-respect principle. So instead of chicken and broccoli being the most boring thing ever and I hated it, I started to actually embrace it because I knew eating a high protein and something like a green was going to give me more nutrients, and I would actually be able to fuel my workouts and I would be able to perform better in the gym. This shift wiped out any judgment about the good food and bad food, and it alleviated any stress about what I'm eating or what I'm not eating. I just basically started to think about what was more aligned with my goals and how quick and how more efficient can I get eating certain things. A lot of it was pleasure seeking, like having a piece of chocolate cake or ice cream. And with the goals I want to achieve, that wasn't really needed. I just want to make one thing clear about this food is fuel mentality. It's not about massive restrictions. It's about being conscious and proactive about the food you're actually taking into your body for the goals you want to get and attain, instead of making reactive decisions that you'll have to pay for later on. One of the biggest traps I put in front of myself was this perfectionism mentality. So for example, if I knew that I was going to go to the gym and I wanted to go at 7 o'clock and I knew I was doing back and it became 8 o'clock, I would just do nothing. And that completely stops progress. You start building this foundation of you don't want to do things, and you start making excuses every single day. And then you start missing 3 or 4 days. What I did instead was called the always something mentality. The principle is simple. If you have a busy day, you're feeling overwhelmed, just start small. I usually made a list. And with that list, I would just complete these small goals and then start checking them off. Because then your body and your brain thinks you're winning, because you are. Even if I was late for something or I felt like I couldn't get something done, I would still start getting them done. And even if I was really bogged down, just 30 minutes of cardio would have been plenty for me to feel good for that day. The reason is, once again, I could alter the things I was saying to myself. Instead of me saying, I'm fat and I did nothing today, I could say, well, at least I did this. At least I walked my dog. At least I got 10,000 steps. At least I did cardio. It's way better than doing completely nothing and stopping any type of progress. The flexibility gives you momentum so you don't feel like a complete failure. And this is why I feel like the always something mentality is the major antidote for the I don't have time phrase, because you always have time to do a little something. In the beginning, when I started to try to lose weight, the word is try, not do, I was so impatient. I was trying to get 50 pounds off in 8 weeks, and when it didn't happen, I was super frustrated, and then I would quit or try to find a new diet or a new hack or a new trick. And it never worked. The final mindset shift was to stop thinking in weeks or months. Research and experts have proven this time and time again that you need to do something for 6 months, a year, or even longer to build proper foundation for actual success. When you expand it from 2 to 3 months to 6 to 12 months, the things that happen in your 2 to 3 months are catastrophic. But when they happen in 12 months, they're just bumps in the road. Listen, you're gonna get sick, you're gonna go on vacation, you're gonna have stresses in your life that kind of get in the way. But at the end of it, it's not that big of a deal if you have a 1 year, 2 year timeline to actually get to your weight loss goals. It actually started to really push me in a positive way to start thinking of not just a scale for my achievements, but things like having more energy, sleeping better, being able to play with my kids, feeling good. And these things are super important. When you put yourself on a short timeline, none of that matters. And if you keep on failing your diets over and over and over again, then you're missing out on life because you're overweight. And that's not fair to you and the people around you. So when you start noticing these things like better sleep, more active, happier, having time with your family, and having fun with your kids, celebrate them, because those are wins. And celebrating small wins is super important because it keeps you building momentum and it keeps you in the game. Because there's gonna be times when the visibility of the scale or your body might be slower. When I look back, the biggest change in my fitness journey wasn't a magic workout plan or a special diet pill that I could take to get me in shape like that. It was about changing my mindset with a few key pillars. First was realizing that you get to do this. Fitness is a privilege, not a punishment. Second was committing to a long-term plan and just understanding that change takes time. And third was embracing the always something mentality, because consistency always beats perfection. These shifts all work together, creating a foundation of change that will actually last. The moment you stop fighting your body and start working with it, then your fitness journey becomes something that you can embrace and be excited for, instead of something that you have to just endure. Remember, the body flows where the mind goes. The moment that you decide to be kind to yourself, to be patient, and to actually celebrate wins over perfection, is the moment that everything starts to change for the better. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. If you're on a weight loss journey like I am, subscribe and we can do it together. I will see you in the next one.